Where on earth are Arsenal's new academy talents coming from? Why is Hale End so good? And who is in charge of all of this? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be uncovering the secrets of Hale End and what makes it such a good academy. But before I begin, if you're new here, please like, share, subscribe and turn on notifications. I think it's only right we start this story with Mertesacker. When it was announced in July 2017 that Mertesacker was to become Arsenal's new academy manager at the end of the 2017-18 season, there were plenty of eyebrows raised. The German defender hadn't even retired as a player when Arsene Wenger and Ivan Gazidis entrusted him with one of the most important positions at the club. But nearly 8 years on from the announcement, Mertesacker is proving to be quite the acquisition for our academy. We must not forget that Hale End is an academy famous for producing the likes of Jack Wilshire, Bukayo Saka, Emil Smith-Rowe, Cesc Fabregas, Ashley Cole, just to name a few. However, Mertesacker has transformed Arsenal's academy since he arrived. The scouting network has been completely shaken up, with the highly respected Steve Morrow being replaced soon after the German was appointed, following a stringent review of the recruitment department. Lee Heron, who had been the head of football operations at the academy following his arrival from Reading in 2018, took up the role of head of our talent ID, replacing Morrow. Heron was tasked with leading the new talent ID department and building a new team to replace the figures that had been moved on, with the likes of Steve Brown, Ayoduri Jaye, Phil Antwi and Conan Watson joining the new recruitment team. The coaching side of things, tough decisions had to be made in order for the club to progress, as Arsenal legend Steve Bold was let go of, with the recruitment team looking for somebody to play more modern style football. Arsenal then chose to get Kevin Betsy, who was absolutely brilliant for them. He guided the under-23s to a high third place finish. However, when you bring in these really top quality managers, you can expect them to be poached from the lower leagues in the men's division, and that's what happened with Kevin Betsy, who was appointed by Crawley Town. Although his tenure didn't end well, he got 12 games under his belt as Crawley manager. But the Arsenal recruitment team should take it as a compliment that they were finding managers that were so good that they're worthy of first team management. Anyway, Arsenal acted swiftly upon the departure of Kevin Betsy from the under-23s and the guy that would be his assistant coach at Crawley and former Arsenal under-18s manager, Dan Mikeke. They'd be replaced by Mehmet Ali and Jack Wilshire, who have done a stellar job, and up to now they remain the under-23s boss and under-18 bosses respectively. Jack Wilshire as of date has our under-18s in third place, 7 points behind West Ham, and they are playing some wonderful football. Arsenal made the right decision in bringing back Jack Wilshire to manage our under-18s team. As for Mehmet Ali, he's not doing too bad either, considering most of our academy boys from the under-23s actually join the first team for training, which means they have less time with Mehmet Ali in the training ground. Although Mehmet Ali has done a great job himself, I'm going to focus on Jack Wilshire and how he has helped Hale End to become really competitive at under-18 level. The Arsenal under-18s had a splendid journey in the FA Youth Cup in the 2022-23 season. Jack Wilshire's side produced 2 superb comeback wins and 2 separate last-minute winners, which helped strengthen the bond of his squad even more. However, they were met by West Ham in the FA Youth Cup final and unfortunately lost 5-1. But we must remember that youth football isn't all about results, and although it would have been nice for the club to get their hands on a first FA Youth Cup trophy in 14 years, the experience that these boys would have got being on that path would have been so valuable. We saw the likes of Cozier Duberry, Ifan Nwaneri, Miles Lewis Skelly all shine on this stage. They were giving a platform to show their qualities, and that's what Jack Wilshire said after the game. Although he was disappointed, he was happy that his boys had the experience to show what they're made of. And that's what you want from your under 18s manager, to focus on the important things. And it shows how good a job Jack Wilshire has done recognizing what is important in the success of youth players. Ethan Nwaneri is a player who is a great example for the great stuff the academy has been doing. He was an integral part of Jack Wilshire's FA Cup youth run, but he was able to come on and make his debut as the youngest ever player to debut in the Premier League at just 15 years of age. But I think the most important thing was the fact Arsenal were able to hold on to him. Gone are the days of Serge Gnabry, whereby we would lose our players that were top quality from the academy to those bigger clubs, either because we weren't in a position to give them a good enough platform, or they just wanted to move on. And although there are times where we lose our best players like Omari Hutchinson, the recruitment team know whether that's a big loss or not. In this case, Arsenal wanted to put their trust in Omari Dubry, who they felt was the better player on that right-hand side. And although he hasn't signed a contract yet, Arsenal are working hard to get this done. And this is something we've done a lot better, trusting the right players. Chidi Obi Martin, who I'm sure everybody has heard of by now, scoring 10 goals per game and wreaking havoc for the under 18s. He is a player that Arsenal have trusted. We saw a couple years ago with following Balogun versus Eddie Nketiah. Arsenal again chose Eddie Nketiah and trusted his abilities. And that's turned out well, because Eddie Nketiah is probably having a better career and season than following Balogun is. And Chidi Obi Martin is one for the future. There is already talks of giving him a new deal and thrusting him into the under 23s. And that's a massive step for a boy who is just 16 years of age. And this leads into my final point for how well Hale End has done. And it's to do with knowing when a player is ready for that next step in their development. The loan system is a great example of this, with Mika Bierif scoring 6 goals in 13 games on loan in the Austrian division. And this comes as a result of Arsenal knowing that the next step for his development is to go out and play first team football. Now they've left themselves in a really good position. Either they can sell him and make a really good profit, or keep him and trust him in the first team. And this is what we've got to know about academies. Not every player will make it, and not every player will be able to make it to Arsenal. The likes of Bukayo Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe are great examples to the academy lads that it can be done, and you can come through the academy and play for the first team. But a way that academy becomes sustainable is by selling players and buying players. Lino Sousa is an example of this, whereby he's a top talent, but Arsenal felt he wouldn't make it here, so we sold him for profit. Arsenal then used that money to buy Braden Clark, who is one of the top prospects in the country. Something that we haven't been doing since the introduction of Mertesacker, Wilshire and the new academy recruitment department. So to conclude, we can say that Hale End is cooking something special and is really proving over the last 10 years and even further back that it's one of the best, if not the best academy ever.